G'day, mate.
Hey,
G'day,
mate, how are you?
I'm doing good, mate. How are you going?
Mate, I'm good. It's a little bit earlier for us tonight, but that's for good reason.
Absolutely.
Very excited. Yeah, very excited. How's your week been?
It's been pretty hectic. It's been pretty good, keeping things ticking over at work. Keeping busy with the family and everything. But look, I'm really looking forward to going to the game tomorrow night. The women's game on the sunny coast. So
mate, it's a sellout now too, which is great. That's great for the for the women's game. Great that it's been a sellout. It's a shame that your premier didn't open the borders so I could get up there and watch it with you, mate. But it's great that one of us is going to be there.
Tried to have a word, but unfortunately, nothing. Yeah. Sorry, mate.
No, that's all right. So we'll preview that a bit later in the show. We'll also talk about last night's State of Origin 2, where New South Wales has tied up the series.
If we have to, mate.
Yeah, but I'm really excited about our guest tonight, mate. And if you want to bring him in, we're excited tonight. We're joined by Warriors number 124 and Kiwi number 655. One of only 3 Kiwis inducted in the Hall of Fame. I'm very excited to welcome the Carver King himself, Ruben Wiki. Welcome, Rubes. Thanks for joining us, brother.
Evening, guys. Evening.
How you been, bro? It's been a while since we chatted. Hope the Stefano's doing well.
Yeah, not too bad, bro. Yeah, it has been a while. It's kind of busy with we purchased a gym in Otara, so where I grew up and the wife. So we took a gamble and purchased the gym in the heart of Otara.
Yeah, it's unlike you to be involved in gym work, mate.
Oh yeah, I'm getting a bit slack about it.
That's awesome. You certainly keep busy. Well, let's get straight into it, Ruben, and we'll take it all the way back to where it began. So could you tell us where you grew up and where you played your junior rugby league as well?
Yeah, sure, guys. So I grew up in Otara, South Auckland. Started playing rugby league at the age of 6 for the Otara Scorpions. So my mum took me down to the local fields just down the road from home and just told me to grab the ball and run. So just did that for a while in the junior grades and went on a sabbatical for 3 years. So when I turned 10, I went on a break. So 3 years, no footy, just focused on school. And then I ended up going to the Otahu Leopards, where the legends of Mark Graham and Hugh McGann, Tawara Nico and all these gentlemen played. And played there for 6 years and ended up going over to Canberra for a stint.
Yeah. It's you're selected to play for the junior Kiwis in '92, alongside our future All Black, or at the time their future All Black captain Tana Umanga. And there was a game, I think it was the second game of that series against the Kangaroos, where you wreaked havoc in that game, and it was the junior Kiwis won that 36-14, which was the first loss the junior Roos had since 1972.
Yep. Was
it from that series that you were signed for Canberra, or had you already signed prior to that schoolboy series?
No. There was a Pacific Cup earlier in the year, so I was playing for the New Zealand Māoris, and there was a few scouts that came over looking for some players. So Tim Sheens and Dean Lance came over, and they were looking for some players to bring to Canberra, and they picked up Quinton. God rest his soul. Excuse me. Noah Njuku, Johnny Lomax, and like myself, I was lucky to get a start there, and a few other island boys, Jimmy Faikoso from the Tonga team. So it was a good breeding field for up and coming rugby league players to get a shot at the NRL. So I think that was the birth of opportunity to go to Canberra. So yeah.
Yeah, well, you mentioned some of the great Kiwi superstars that you were lucky enough to play with there, but it must have been also exciting playing alongside the likes of Mal Meninga, Brad Clyde, Laurie Daly, Gary Belcher, the overall State of Origin and Australian Test superstars as well.
crazy times, Rob. You know, it's like I watched these guys when 1989 when they played the Balmain Tigers in the grand final, and I was like, I was 89, I was 16, and I was like, look at the size of that number 3. You know, he was huge, and had the arm guard, and you know, I started wearing the old shin guard on my arm. And strapping up with the old electrical tape and just pretending to be Mel Meninga in the in the younger junior group. But you know, it's funny how it all worked out. You know, I ended up getting 2 freaking broken arms and ended up with the arm guards myself. So, but it was a good time, man. It was like they signed me for 2 years, mate. So I just went for a 2-year stint with the 21s, and Craig Bellamy was the coach back then.
Yep.
So he hasn't changed one bit.
No. Still say that.
Yeah, no, he hasn't changed one bit, but he's very passionate about the game, and when he post game, he's the nicest person in the world. But I took a gamble, mate, and asked Mum if I could leave the nest for a couple of years and I'll come home. And she let me go. And I took my girlfriend over as well, who is now my wife, and my little brother, just to get a little taste and see what it's like, you know.
Yeah, in '93 you made 3 appearances for the Raiders, and then in '94 you cemented your spot in first grade. You're regular first grader. You played 25 of the 26 games, including the grand final. What was it like playing in that team of superstars and winning a grand final so early in your career?
It's funny, man. It was like, we go back to '93 when I was my debut game was with Ken Agus on the wings. I was on the wingman, and so it was Kenny.
I know you were.
Man, it was like far out. You know, it was against Newcastle. You know, it was like freaking heck. They were just kicking the high bombs, and I was just like, you know, close my eyes and see what happens. But ended up playing the game, and just the pace of the game was really fast, you know. So I thought the 21s was fast, and then the reserve grade, but it was another level. So I just bided my time and I wanted more of it. So got the opportunity in '94. I think there was an injury to David Boyle, and I took the opportunity and didn't want to go back. So I just fought for the jersey, and if anyone wanted it, they had to take me out.
Yeah, nice.
So that was the approach for me, man. Every time I trained, so I trained like I played. So you want my jersey, you got to take me out. So
yeah,
prize it off you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the word was that you signed 2 contracts back in 1994, so both for the Raiders and the Warriors. So how did this come about, and why did you ultimately stay with the Raiders?
So how it worked out, I was getting homesick after the 2 years, and the Warriors are coming into the NRL in '95, so they were looking for some players, and Ian Robson, who was the CEO back then, was, they put our contract up, and was more than I was getting at the Raiders. I was homesick at the same time, and just a lot of emotions going through the mind, and wanting to get home. And then I had a chat to Tim Sheens and told him what I did. Then went straight to the office, and I signed a contract with the Raiders. So it ended up, it was a young, naive mistake. I had no agent back in those days, and I was just taking the word of this gentleman and promising the world, and it ended up only being a reserve grade contract. So I took it up with Tim Sheens, and he took it up with the CEO Kevin Neal back in the days, and they got me to sign another contract, and we went to court in Canberra, and my best witness ended up being Frank Endicott. It was the reserve grade Warriors coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was my coach at the junior Kiwis, and He just it's just a silly mistake made, and the court, the judge saw what I did wrong, and I didn't want to go, so they couldn't force me to go. But it was just I just had to sit out for a while and do my time on the sideline and sort out all the court procedures and bide my time, and for Canberra to stick by me through those tough times, I owed it to them to do what I could for as long as I could. So I ended up staying in Canberra for another 10 years.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's at Canberra, you're like early in your career, you're always a hard running centre, one of those guys that I used to love watching. However, during Mal's tenure as Raiders coach, he shifted you in the forwards a couple of times in the 98 season, and then it was like a full-time shift in 99.
Yep.
How did that move come about? Was that his decision? Was that something that you wanted to do, or was your reaction against that because you preferred playing out a little bit wider?
Well, it's funny. It was like just a friendly chat with Mel, and with the caliber of players we had back in those days, man, don't see much ball on the left side. Into the gun side, far out. So I was doing all the tackling while Mel was doing all the flash stuff. But as time went on, I was kind of getting bored out on the backs and wanted to get closer to the action. And I think when Mel was coach, they had a few injuries in the forwards, and I just said, I just put my hand up. I said, throw me in the middle, bro, if you want. And because it was unlimited subs back then, so I just went hard and just come off and then go back on again. So, and I just loved it. It took a while to get used to it, and I was getting my head taken off, but you just return the favors, right?
Yeah, absolutely, you do.
I think it's a good move, though. But before we get on to what we really want to talk to you about, which is your career at the Warriors, I've just got one important question, and I think a lot of fans would like to know the answer to this one as well.
Yep.
So during your time at the Raiders, you used to save what seemed to be your best performance when you played against the Warriors. Can you give us a bit of insight into this? Was it because you were motivated to play well against your countrymen, or was there some other reason?
Probably because it's most of those boys, like through the Kiwi times, like they were like my brothers, right? So when you play your countrymen, you want to give your best performance, and the more love you give to your mates, it brings the best out of both sides, right? So there's a few Kiwis in the Raiders back then, and when we go up against the Warriors, we always try to get over our cousins on the other side.
Yep. So
that's why I always loved playing with the Warriors. He always brought the best out of me, and going home, playing in front of your family, and it was just. And they were trying to take me out, so because if they take me out, then they win the game. So
exactly.
And that was the battles for years to come. Right throughout the careers, but that's just showing how much respect we had for each other, and that's the way it should be played. And that's the only that's the reason why we against the Warriors, man. There's any Kiwis in the teams, bro. We just go hammer, bro. Hammer them.
You terrorized it. There was that one game of the year that we knew that you would lift. I mean, it wasn't unusual for you to score a try or set up a try against us.
Yeah.
It was punishing to watch. As much of a fan as we were of Ruben Wiki, the Kiwi, Wiki, the Canberra Raider, terrorising our Warriors was not something we liked seeing.
But it was funny because we always get some mail from some of the players saying something about like the Kiwi boys of the Raiders, So that was like some bait to get me fired up, and they got me fired up. So
I'm not surprised.
So every time we go to Ericsson Stadium, man, I was like, I'm going to tear someone's head off here.
Yeah, it seemed like that.
In 95, you saw the light. In 2005, you saw the light and signed with the Warriors. Had you always intended to come back home and play? Was that something that you always wanted to do and play? And because the Warriors are the only team in New Zealand, obviously that became the fit.
Honestly, bro, I could have retired in Canberra, but as the years went on, I took probably too many pay cuts and stayed for the wrong reasons. So financially wise, I was staying because I love the club, I love the people, and so I was losing out. So I thought I'll get the agent to see what was out there. I was coming into my 30s, man. So
yeah,
just wanted to see what was out there. And Wigan came to the party as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Wigan Warriors and the New Zealand Warriors both come to the party in 2005. So I had to look at the bigger picture because the kids were born in Australia. We've been there like 12 years. I had to weigh up the options because the Wigan offer was pretty good, and I just said weigh up the bigger picture for the future for our family and my kids. The number one priority, and so I decided to go home.
Yeah, well, look,
we're glad you did. We're glad you did.
Yeah, we're definitely glad you did, mate.
Yeah.
And I remember watching your final game for Canberra back in 2004. Obviously, you did like a lap of honour, but obviously very emotional for you. How difficult was it to leave behind, over a decade of memories and really good mates there in Canberra?
Right. Well, it was the hardest night because I come off injured. I had a high ankle sprain and just doing the lap. These people watching me grow from a 19-year-old to like in my 30s. I was just my extended family and all the emotions just come at once, and I couldn't freaking even go around on my own 2 feet because of the high ankle sprain. I thought that was the end of me because we made the finals the week after. So I just did everything I could to get back on the field. So I was ruled out for the rest of the year. So I just wanted to give them one more game. And we played the Roosters the following week. So I just went into overdrive, did my carver every night, got my leg numb, iced it, needles, whatever you had to do. So we played the Roosters the week after and had 5 needles jabbed into my ankle, ankle brace. I couldn't feel my leg. So for 70 minutes, it was numb. I was just running on adrenaline just to give one more game to the Raiders, and I cut my hair off, got the flat top back.
Yeah.
Right back to the back to the
94.
Yeah, the 94 top. And after the game, we lost the game, but after the game, I managed to say goodbye to the fans on my own 2 feet. And Ricky was the coach then, Ricky Stewart for the Roosters, and he told me I didn't owe them anything, but he understands. So it was good to see. And I still keep in touch with all the old boys, and we got a pretty good relationship due to that 94 grand final. It's funny till you win a grand final. It's funny how close you become with all those the guys you play with, even to this day.
Yeah, absolutely. Heading into that 05 season, the Warriors recruited. It was probably the best recruiting the club's ever done. We both you and Stephen Price. Although a patchy season results-wise for the team, you had a pretty solid season, winning the Warriors Player of the Year. What are your memories of that first year at the Warriors?
Just getting to meet the young breed coming through. Like Manu Vatuvai, Ivan Tumavave, Sam Rapira, all these young kids coming through the grades. I just wanted to pass on some knowledge to what it takes to have a long career in the NRL. So I didn't really make it too flash. I just kept it really basic and just listened to them and what they wanted, and just try to do my bit for the team. So I didn't want to just try to guide them to what it takes to have a long career, and sacrificing a few things to do that. So getting the balance right, when's a good time to go out, and when's a But the best time to actually stay home is, which is, you know, because there's a lot of pressure out there. So yeah, I was just trying to teach them those little things, you know.
Yeah, that's great. Like a lot of those young guys would definitely have looked up to you. And
Mm.
another one of those young guys that made his debut in that 2005 season was Simon Mannering as well.
Yeah.
He made his debut that year.
Yep.
And also, it turned out to be, until he returned in 2009, Stacey Jones's last season for the Warriors as well. So he had a bit of a farewell tour there. How do you remember Stacey as a teammate for club and country?
Well, Stacey and I have been we played the Kiwis since '95. You know, we were the young pups coming through, and the OGs we had in that team. You know, we had it was Quinton Pongia, Johnny Lomax. Oh mate, there's some OGs in there, and that's old school ways. You know, you do what you're told, kind of thing. So they go for a drink on a Wednesday. You got to go, right? without even thinking about saying no. But their mentality back in the days was like what you grew up with, was drink hard, train hard, play hard kind of thing, you know. And didn't register until you get to an older age of 30 plus that it's not the way it goes. You got to get the balance right. You got to get the balance right.
Was diet a big part of it back then, like it is now?
What's that, brother?
Was diet a big part of the pre-game stuff, like it is now? Like they're all big on what they eat, what they put into their bodies. Was it big back then in the mid 2000s?
It keeps changing because of all the studies that come out. So, like when it was at the Raiders days, it was big on carbs. You know, the bolognese and the pasta the night before, carbo loading, and then come back to the Warriors, it's more the clean eating and having your steak and the coconut oil and stuff like that. So it's like, it's like, oh. But you know, research keeps changing, and I think if you put the good nutrients in your body, you're going to function, right? So just putting the right food in your waha, and then making your body adapt and play at the best of your ability, right? So it's just all about balance. You know, have a cheat meal. You got to have your cheat meal or you'll go nuts. So after the game, have your pizza or ice cream, but then you're back into the swing of things again. So I didn't drink during the year. I was only Mad Monday. I have a little bit of a drink, but it was kava for me, mate. Always.
Just on the kava, is it medicinal or what is it that a lot of the island boys, when they drink it, what does it for those that don't know, what does it do?
The effects.
Yeah,
it's medicinal, bro, and it's a muscle relaxant. So it has an ingredient in the actual plant that they use in anti-inflammatories called coxi, COXI. So you look in the anti-inflammatories, you see that word in the anti-inflammatories. So hydration with the water, have the best sleep, mean sleep. So if your body's sore, the kava helps numb the body, muscle relaxant, and you have the best sleep ever. So you can get up and just train the house down the next day.
To look into that.
That's not do a fish, boys.
Well, I have tried it once. A Fijian guy at work brought it in one day. I did try it, and let me just say, it's probably an acquired
taste. Everyone says it tastes like shit, like dirty socks. I said, man, I don't know what shit tastes like. And, I made dirty socks taste like.
I had it in Fiji, and it didn't taste too bad. And you could buy the pack to bring home to make yourself. And then when I made it myself, it just tasted like dirty water. Like it didn't taste like how it tasted when they made it. So there's obviously an art to making it.
Yeah, and it's more the camaraderie around the kava bowl. That's the most important part. So every time we finish a game, we'll get around the kava bowl and the music's playing and just talking to the guys, you know, just talking about not the game, but just talking.
Life.
Yeah, life in general, family, how you going, how's the body, and that's why the Polynesians do it. the gathering of people, and it's safe.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Culture.
All right, back to the footy. Tony Kemp's let go, and Ivan Cleary's replaced as coach for the 2006 season, which turned out to be a masterstroke by the club. However, at the start of the season, the club was embroiled in a salary cap controversy where we were docked 4 competition points, which pretty much cost us 8th spot because, those 4 points we finished ahead of Parramatta in 8th spot in that season. As a first-time first-grade coach, how was Ivan able to galvanise the group and keep the boys motivated despite that setback? Because I remember we started on -4 points that year on the competition table.
Well, he kept it really simple. You know, he didn't really worry. He didn't really bring up those 4 points that we lost. He kind of just focused on the process every week. That's all we could do. We can't worry about those 4 points. They're -4 points. We just had to kind of just galvanize as a group and stick to the game plan. But it's like we're hot and cold. Some guys buy into it and some don't. It's like any other team. Everyone's got to be on the same page to perform week in, week out. A few that go a bit off centre puts their whole rhythm out, and that's like any other team. So. It was in the Origin, the first Origin. New South Wales went a bit, and then the Queensland babies came through. So, and then the Blues woke up, and then it galvanised together, and crazy. So that's like in any team sport, man. You all got to be on the same page and going for the same goal, and that's week in, week out. It's tough to do that because there's always all the constraints outside the bubble with family. Like fans wanting social media gets in there, believe in their own hype, everything.
Yeah.
So we try to, don't read it, don't watch it, just focus on your own performance. And that's all you can do. There's going to be critics, and there's always going to be critics, good and bad, and you just got to take the good with the bad and just get on with it. And the best thing you can do for the team is just perform. Regardless what happens, win or lose, he's just got to keep turning up.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Performance is the key, and that's what you certainly did in 2007. It was another successful season for the club. So despite a pretty slow start, the team rallied, and we were able to finish in 4th spot and secure a home final against Parramatta. So what are your memories of that season and the final? And does Logan Swan not passing still haunt you like it does the rest of us?
He's actually my best mate. So he's like one of my closest mates, and that's the decision he'll have to live with. It's either pass or so it's. Yeah, I can't comment on that one, If he passes it, it's a try. If he doesn't pass and scores, it's a try, but ends up being the other option. It's a hard one, man, because we all get in that predicament, right? And it's you got to live with it. You got to live with your decision on the field, and he has lived with it, and he regrets it, but it's the way it is. That's footy, man. You can't dwell on it too long because you make you go nuts.
That's right. But the home final must have been awesome. Like the atmosphere must have been fantastic there at Mount Smart. Because there's not too many finals played outside of Australia, so that must have been a big occasion.
Yeah, it was awesome, bro. It's like seeing Mount Smart packed like that is just crazy, man. And they're getting right behind you and just getting you through those tough moments when it's, in the arm wrestle. So can't wait till they get back to Mount Smart, man.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah. I've said all year, I felt very lucky this year being based in Sydney and being able to go and watch the boys play a lot of weeks this year. I was able to go and watch them play as a kind of like a home fan, which is something I haven't experienced for a long, long time. But I think it'll be great when they can get back home and play in front of their home fans at Mount Smart, pack that place out.
Fingers crossed, bro. So as they got the contingency plan ready to go. So if it goes ahead, then could get some games here in New Zealand. But if not,
we spoke to Jazz. We had Jazz on last week, and Jazz was telling us that it's they've kind of worked it out in like three monthly blocks, basically at this point in time, where they'll do pre-season, and then if the borders don't open, then they stay and do the first part of the season. If borders aren't open, then they'll continue on. So it's good that they've got a plan for next year, rather than the debacle that they had to go through this year, where they were kind of blindsided and decisions were made pretty much on the run at the beginning.
Absolutely, bro. And they have to, look at plan A, B, C, right up to freaking Z. Depending on what's going on in the countries, and if people are behaving, so sticking to the rules, because it only takes one to ruin it. So, and it's
that's right.
It's been crazy. It's been a crazy year, man.
Unreal.
Unreal, eh? Freaking hell.
Yeah.
But it's every 100 years, they reckon. So this is the one.
This is ours.
This is our one to come through.
Right here, right now. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So get this out of the way and we can move on.
Yeah. After that loss to Para in the 07 season, we were forced into a sudden death playoff game against the Cowboys up in that blazing heat at North Queensland, where they decided to wear their away white jerseys, which forced us to wear our black home jerseys in that game. You reckon? You look back on that. Do you reckon that was a factor, with the heat and the black jersey?
Oh, black jersey and the heat, bro. Yeah, freaking they weren't going to do us any favors, So that was draining. That one. That was like freaking. The first 10 minutes, you could feel that, and like if you cough up all that bull, it's going to be a long, long day at the office.
Oh man, I've had a vendetta against the Cowboys to this day because that was a lot seriously.
Yeah, Rob. Yeah, mate. I said, mate, you could have gave us, doing a favour for us, So we talk about what the boys did for the NRL. As they always say, you remember this one, boys? You remember this one?
Yeah.
But it is what it is, man. It's any advantage is the way,
That's it. It's one of those things. Well, brings us on to, unfortunately, that game didn't end too well, so we'll move on from that. But in 2008 was your final season in the NRL, and again, it was another crazy ride of a season. So again, there was a slow start, saw us in a bit of a familiar position of having to win like the majority of our final games to sneak into 8th spot. So the team actually grew beards that year in your honour, for the run into the finals. So how did this come about, and who had the best and the worst beard?
The best beard probably go to the trainer, Dane Norton. He had the big Ranger beard, and probably the worst, Steve Price.
Steve Price.
Well, he's never had any fluff on his face.
Baby face.
I don't know. Michael Witt was pretty ordinary, wasn't it?
Who's that?
Michael Witt.
Oh, yeah, they had the old friggin' Elvis. The Zorro one, eh? Yeah, but how that came about was actually a difficult one, actually, because they were trying to out me at the club early. So because we weren't doing too well, and they were trying to get me to move on. They were trying to get me to move on and retire. So it's probably something people don't know. So it was a pretty tough one. I was on probably 298 games, and it just felt they needed to send me on my way to free up some money or something. I don't know. It was just politics, man. So I didn't go. So I ended up playing reserve grade. And I didn't really actually care where I played. I just wanted to play footy. And then the boys got a wind of it, and got called back into the team, and that was it. After that, we grew the beards and just wanted to finish the year with the boys, you know.
Yeah. Yep. That's in 2006 you surpassed Steve Kearney as the most games played by a Kiwi in the NRL, and then round 16 2008 you played your 300 in that 28-26 win against the Tigers at Leichhardt Oval, becoming the first Kiwi to actually achieve that milestone, playing 300 games. What a proud moment that must have been. And then to do it with against the team coached by your old coach at Canberra, Tim Sheen. I remember they presented you with a signed jersey at the end of that game.
Yeah.
And I think Brett Hodgson missed a kick from the sideline.
Yeah, to get the extra time.
Yeah.
It's funny how it all worked out for us. My actual first game for the Raiders run-on was at Leichhardt Oval when I was under 21s.
Yep.
With Craig Bellamy, and it was actually my first suspension as well.
Yeah.
Back in '93.
Yeah.
And then
you didn't have many suspensions in your career, did you, bro?
Nah. It was just a sabbatical here and there.
Yeah. A couple of weeks off to recharge your body.
Yeah. But it's funny how it all worked out that I ended up playing 300 games at Leichhardt Oval, and the coach was Tim Sheens there.
Yep. So
it's just funny how it worked out. And through all the suspensions, it was just meant to be. So
yeah.
That's how I see it. Things are supposed to happen for a reason. I never thought I'd play 300 games, let alone one game in the NRL. So, and I was still learning to play the game at 35, and I was just still hungry, you know. So it was a tough year to go out, but I really enjoyed the ride, and I could have gone to England and so forth, but I just had to look at the bigger picture. My body was all good, but yeah. It's just how it all come about, trying to push you out, you know.
Well, that is interesting. I've never heard that before. So thanks for sharing that with us. But the Warriors. What were they thinking? The Warriors finished in 8th spot that season, and that finals game against Melbourne is widely regarded amongst all fans, probably even fans of the game, as one of the best games in Warriors history. So it was the first time that 8th spot had beaten first in the history of the McIntyre final system that they had at the time.
Yep.
How confident were the boys heading into this match, and what are your memories of the final try?
we had nothing to lose, Rob. So we just went out there as when the boys, you know, the Storm boys run out and they come through that freaking sign.
The banner thing. The banner. Yeah.
Well, we were on the other side, and we all just yelled at the mate, just going off. So we just sit. They just got a bit of shock actually when they come through there. And it's just seeing us yelling our heads off. So, but that was the theme was the 300 Spartans. So we were going out. We were going to go out hard and fast, you know. So. And that last try, freaking hell, could have kicked his ass, Michael Witt. Just put the ball down, brother. You know? Just put the ball down, please.
Yeah.
But it was so good for the team and to get more confidence from beating the top seed team and going into the next game, and coming home. So that was even better, bro. So we rode, it took it game by game. It was like a farewell for this guy. But everyone just dug in, and just doing all the little things and just never gave up.
Yeah, it set up an unexpected.
We had nothing to lose, you know.
Yeah, and that's it. It set up an unexpected home game, didn't it, against the Roosters? The following week.
Yeah, which
was a massive occasion for the club. Mount Smart was rocking. We had that intimidating blackout theme atmosphere going. We have to ask you about probably the most brutal kick return ever. Has Sia ever recovered from that?
We always catch up, and he's a good close friend of mine, and it's always in the chats. But a couple of days prior to that, I caught up with his mum.
Oh yeah.
And she gave me a slap in the head. Just for hurting her son. I said, "Oh man." But yeah, when I did the kickoff, it was like there was 3 of them, 1 of me. So
yeah.
And the crowd were going off at the back, and I'm running the ball, and I'm yelling out Spartan.
Spartan. Yeah,
But that's what I was yelling before I made contact. Yep. And yeah, it could be me knocked out. So I was just lucky I turned sideways to make a smaller target.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's very rare you get to see Soliolo on his ass. So
very rare. Yes.
I've got a lot of respect for him. He's put a lot of people on their butts. So
he has.
It's like, cool.
And another man that's played a long career. I think he's just signed for another year at the Raiders as well too.
Signed another year, and it's been great for the club. You know, I speak to Ricky a lot, and he just speaks high regards about Josh Parley and Sia, the way they've, you know, the wikis of the new generation kind of just passing on their knowledge to the boys in the green jersey. And yeah, I always keep in contact with those boys and see how they're going. And so the relationship never dies with the green machine. So it's right in our blood, you know, in our veins.
Yeah. That's right, the camaraderie and everything.
Bro. Yeah, blood, sweat, and tears, bro.
Well, after the euphoria of that fantastic night there at Mount Smart and beating the Roosters, it set up a preliminary final match against Manly the next week.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it wasn't our night, and Manly were just too strong. And even more unfortunately, this turned out to be your final NRL game. So despite the game, you must look back fondly on that crazy ride that was that 2008 season.
Yeah, I do, Robin. It's like to play Manly, and you know, Beaver was in the schoolboys back in 1992 and on the wing, mate. So to see him there, like having his finale as well, like in the final, and it was just, I said, man, what a ride. I said, what a ride, eh, Beaver? It's been a freaking ride, bro, since 92. So we're just going to kind of embrace and showed our respects. And one had to win and one had to lose, right? So fairy tale wasn't meant to be for myself, but I'm glad he got the fairy tale.
It's funny how you say things happen for you too. Like you're saying that your first game was against the Tigers and then your 300th was against the Tigers. Your first game for the Warriors was actually against Manly, and then your last game for the Warriors, which ended up being your last game of your career, actually was against Manly as well.
That's crazy, man. It's like,
I know. It's
funny how
weird how things like that line up, isn't it?
Yeah. But I just look back and, you know, every time I put the jersey on, I just want to do the best for my team and give them everything I could. You know, didn't have a freaking sidestep like Roger, 2 of us a shit, but But I'll work hard for the boys, you know, to the 1%ers, like, and that's what I wanted to be respected for, just all the little stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on something that's maybe a little bit emotional. 2009, we lost Warrior 139 Sunny Fife, 4th of January. Which pretty much derailed the club's season. That whole season was pretty much a write-off. It was very hard for the boys to go through that season. What are your memories of this time? Because I remember a lot of the news reports, you were always front and centre, and Steve Price as well, like talking to the media about what was going on at the club. And we had a lot of young guys going through that club at the time that grew up playing with Sonny. I just, like, as I said, I don't mean to put you on the spot, bro, but it's just one of those things that the club went through. And, you know, we're going into 11 years since he passed. And every year, 4th of January, the true diehard Warriors fans still remember Sonny.
We always man that he was. We always spend a bit of time for Sonny on the 4th of Jan. The time when it happened, I was actually in Christchurch, and It was actually I got married on the 5th. It was my anniversary on the 5th of January, so it's hard not to forget Sonny's death, his passing away.
Yep.
So it was tough news when I got the news. You know, money rang me, and it was like freaking. I was in Christchurch, I had to pull over. I was in shock, and then we just got on the plane and came back straight to Auckland and straight down to Bethel's, just to help out and see if we could find him. You know, but what he did is probably the bravest thing anyone could do to save his brother and his cousin. And he just finished a 2-hour session, on the sand dunes, so his muscles would have been freaking fried. And getting caught in that rip wouldn't have helped. And he's not a good swimmer, but the muscle mass of Sonny Fai, just for his body, he just got his family to safety, and he just had no more energy. So I was hoping he would get through the rip to calm down and swim back with a big ass cheesy smile, but it wasn't meant to be, you know. So I always think he's just he's on the island somewhere smiling away with his little family. He just had enough of the pressure. I just kind of took off, but you know, that's my thought where Sonny is, a big smile on a freaking island and drinking a coconut.
Yep.
Yeah, it had a profound impact on all of us. And when I was in Auckland back in 2018, I actually went out to Bethel's Beach, and just had a moment there just to, you know, pay my respects and everything. And it was just like a heavy feeling there. So, you know, it was felt by all fans of the game as well. It was just such an emotional moment. Yeah,
bro. And I still keep in contact with the family. His sisters, his brother. So it's, you know, every time, this time I just give him a text, see how they're going.
Yep.
It's because, you know, he was here with my roommate for a while, and the year prior, and he was a good kid. You know, he was teaching me Samoan, and I was teaching him about prolonged career in the NRL, what not to do, what to do. So we had a good little bond, Sonny and I, and that's why, you know, we found it hard. And I think when someone passes away way before their time, it's real tough, you know. So losing Sonny then, and also one of my mentors just recently, Quinton, it's real tough, you know. And all they would want for us is just to live on, you know, and they're always on our thoughts and always have moments. And
we really appreciate you sharing that with us, and obviously it's very tough. So thank you for sharing that with us. I'll just take it back to the footy for a moment. And you actually came out of retirement for the 2017 Auckland Nines. So how did you find that after being out of the game for so long?
You know what, bro? I really enjoyed it, eh? I wish they would have left me on longer. I would have scored a try. But no, I've always, you know, I know what to do, and there was a lot of tests I had to do to register for the Nines because you're over 40, so you had to do an ECG, you had to do a Bronco, you had to do freaking sprint tests, everything. So I managed to tick all those boxes, and you know, I'm a stickler for being a professional, and like come to the games and that. Isaiah Papali'i was my roommate, and I had my kava there, so I was drinking kava, so it's sweet. I was nice and relaxed. So I was going into the game nice and relaxed, and after the games and everything. But it wasn't too bad, bro. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Pace wasn't too bad, but I'm trying to put a shot on Mutton to power, you know, and I thought I hit him, but I ended up at his ankles. I was like, oh, I felt like I hit him, but I'm just holding on to his bootlace. But, you know, just being out of the game with all the weights they do and stuff, I was like, far out. And It's funny.
Yeah.
Like, one of the Sims boys watched me growing up, right? And he ended up playing against me. It's like freaking out. It's like, fuck. But I'm like, there are all these puppies, all these babies that I'm playing with, and I'm like,
there would have been a lot of them there that would have watched you growing up, and then
bro, out of it as after the games, oh man, what you were growing up, blah blah blah. So sweet. I was just trying to take your head off.
it would have been a thrill for a lot of those Warriors players too, like you mentioned Isaiah Papali'i and that. Like, you know, back in New Zealand, you would have been the idol that a lot of guys, you know, grew up watching. So for those guys to be able to take the field with you, that would have been something that they wouldn't have expected would ever happen in their career.
And Sean pulled out at the last minute too, so he was looking forward to running around. So I was looking forward to scoring tries off you, Shawnee, but you know, but it was a thrill, you know, and my body was all good. It wasn't, you know, it's only freaking 9 minutes, but I said, man, stop pulling me off, man. Leave me on. Leave me on. We played the Raiders too. Oh, good times.
Can we talk about your Kiwis career, bro?
Kiwis career?
Yeah. You made your debut in '94 in a test match against Papua New Guinea, in Papua New Guinea. They always talk about how league mad they are up there. What was it like playing in front of those crazy Papua New Guineans?
The Kumals, they're very hostile, eh? Very hostile players.
Yeah.
They love the league. And, you know, we were just coming off a grand final with the Raiders, and there's a lot of Canberra Raider fans there because of Mal Meninga. So when they saw like Quinton, Johnny Lomax, and myself, oh my gosh, we went nuts.
David Wesley was,
Dave Wesley, Bruce Mamando.
Yeah.
So like the GODs over there in the Kumu. But we weren't allowed to leave the hotel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we had
safety reasons because of how crazy they are.
So in the Highlands, you could hear the guns going off, which is the rascal.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was pretty hostile place. And when we went to the games, security all the time. I remember one of the games against the Vipers, there was tear gas thrown on the field.
Yeah.
The crowd was getting a bit rowdy, you know, so they threw tear gas to calm them down. I was like, mate, we're on the field here. So we had to go back into the changing room and just, it was nuts. And then they escorted us back to the vans, and they had the German Shepherd dogs. The coppers like letting them loose on the fans, you know, biting them and stuff.
Wow.
Had the big bamboo sticks and everything. Fuck, bro.
It was a different world.
Yeah. Well, they probably didn't feel it because they're on the beetle nut, that numb. They got like real tough, freaking tough skin, man.
Yeah.
And the grounds were nuts. They're like rocks coming out of the grounds. Freaking hell, we had Vaseline all on our knees, elbows. Man, freaking bandages, everything. And these guys were just socks down, no grazes. I was like, oh, blimey. It was crazy, bro. It was crazy, but learned a lot over there in Papua New Guinea because they had a lot of the old boys there, Tawana Nikau, Sean Hoppy, Jared McCracken, Quinton, and never forget Kumland. Never went back.
Never went back. Although you
mask, bro.
You did end up playing another 54 tests for your nation after that one, which at the time of your retirement in 2006 was the most internationals by any player, which was only surpassed by Darren Lockyer in 2009 and I think Cam Smith in 2017. So what do you attribute your longevity in the game to?
Suspensions.
Good answer.
A couple of weeks off here and there, bro. It just gets the balance right, so you can recover. Feel like a young kid again.
It was a scheduled rest, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What was it? Was it 44 weeks?
Yeah.
Was it 44 weeks all up or something like that? That you ended up spending on this?
No, that was Quinnipongia's, mate. Mine's only like 20. But like combined, I think we're about 100.
Yeah.
But Johnny, don't forget Johnny Lomax too. But yeah, no, I think just looking after myself, Rob, and those. I'm serious. Those suspensions come in handy just to refresh the body and get hungry again. So I want to get back on the field, But it's weird because there's some big ones. There's a 5-weeker, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's always around test time.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy theory against the Kiwis, bro. They used to do it to Bully as well. Whenever Bully would be ready for a test for New Zealand, he'd cop a suspension at South. Yeah, that's a conspiracy theory.
I tried to fight at judiciary, a couple of them. I think it was against Paul Serenin. And I think I leaped and hit him in the head. And he come in there and said, I can't remember the game. I said, mate, you look 6'3", bro. It's like freaking out.
Yeah.
Well, I did jump up.
That's a hell of a jump to hit Zero in the head.
Yeah. But yeah. I just had the good balance, man, Rob, with the few suspensions here and there. Just to break it up and just looked after myself. Yeah.
Honesty from the Carver King.
Yeah. Well, it's funny though. It's funny because when I'm in Canberra, the wife will always come home to New Zealand, and it's usually around that time I get suspended because I'm home alone.
Can you one of the best things about playing for the Kiwis is being able to perform the haka before a test match. Can you explain to those watching that have never done a haka, especially in that environment, what it does for you guys prior to the game?
Yeah, it's that calling. It's time to go to war. Are you ready to come with me? Because I'm not going to take a backward step. So when you're leading it, to say, boys, you either come in with me or I'm going on my own. So, and it's challenging our boys to take up the challenge against the opposition, And every time we did it, but it was just took a lot of emotion out physically and mentally. So we had to get in the huddle just to take a couple of breaths, just to bring ourselves back down to reality and then focus on the job. Sometimes we forget to do the breathing and start off like crap. So we just had to get us nice and calm before we started the actual game.
I noticed someone shared something on Facebook the other day, and it was the New Zealand Māori that played at the beginning of this year practicing their haka. Is there a lot that goes into it in camp? Like, do you guys have like haka practices on a daily basis, or just to get that rhythm right and that coordination, that syncing, so that it looks perfect on the night?
Yeah. On the night of the game or whatever it is, bro, all it comes down is to how much passion and how much this actually means to you. You could be doing the action wrong. It doesn't matter. It's what you're actually about to embrace and what you're about to give out. It doesn't matter if you can't do the actions. Some of the guys are born in Australia, they still struggle with the actions. But we don't care, man. As long as you give us 100% in the huck and then give us 100% in the game.
Yep.
That's all that matters,
As Rob said, you played 55 tests for the Kiwis, 18 of them as our captain. Do you have like a standout moment for yourself in the black jersey?
There's a couple, man. It's probably my first test for the Kiwis, like 94 and 2005 Tri-Nations in Leeds, when we played the Aussies and we beat them 24-0.
Yep.
So the funny story, we weren't even booked that week to be in a hotel because they thought we weren't going to make it. So that was used as a little bit of fuel. And we wanted to do something special, and we just the whole campaign was growing into like doing something special. We broke some records in Sydney against the Aussies. Then we did this one in England, and we had the Palms behind us. And to do a 24-0 against a pretty star-studded side was, it was a bonus. So I got pretty emotional after that game because I was thinking of all the freaking 700 Kiwis prior to us, from the number one Albert basketball to the current crop.
Yep.
So we're playing a lot of emotions, and we're in like foreign territory, and I just wanted to do something special. And we actually got a reunion in a couple of weeks with that group. 2000.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we always catch up.
15 years.
Yeah. So we always catch up. Mad Butcher, I love him. Always organises these shindigs, and it's special, So we just had our annual Kiwi reunion just last weekend with all the OGs from Day Dot, which are still alive, So Ray Crunch is like 90 plus. He's still kicking, and he's one of the originals, So just to hear their stories, and because some of them won't be here the following year, due to
that's right.
circumstances. Yeah. We got to take that opportunity to spend as much time with these legends that paved the way for us,
Yep, absolutely.
Because we're only caretakers of the jersey, right? So we've done our part, and now it's time to pass it on. And I'm glad New Zealand Rugby League has brought the women into the reunion. So we have all our women that have played for the Kiwi Ferns in there as well. Just trying to get my sister down there to rap back. She played for the Ferns back in the days. She was a menace to all the Aussies.
I noticed this year too, the NRL actually honoured the retiring women in the NRL as well.
Yep.
Like cool. Lorena Papali'i was, and I thought that was pretty special. Just on that, what's your thoughts on the women's game? Do you watch much?
Oh man, I reckon they're awesome. They're very, very skillful. Their timing, the way they pass the ball, some of their skill is way better than some of the men.
Yeah,
because they're just so poetic with all their movements, and playing netball and basketball, all the sports. They've their sixth sense they always talk about. Yeah. So it's a great game to watch, and man, some of those hits are wow. My sister used to play for the Kiwis back in the days, in the 90s, and her nickname was Hitman. She had the flat top. She bang, bro. She bang. They always ask me who was the hardest hitter that I've ever come across, and I always said it was my sister in the backyard.
You could put a shot on.
Wow.
Yeah, mate, she used to fold me all the time. But good times. Sorry, bro.
It is a good game. It is a good game to watch. We had Brad Donald on, who's obviously current Jillaroos coach, but coached the Women's Warriors side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we had a couple of girls. We had Georgia Hale come on, and Maddie Bartlett, Hilda Peters, Karina Brown, and that was one of the things that we spoke to them about, was the fact that, and no offense to the women's game, but it's more of a natural game to watch. It's not overly, like, there's no over wrestle in the tackles or anything like that. Their hits are pretty solid.
Yeah, running
and the skill level is
awesome.
Yeah. Did you see the girls do their haka for the last game? The Warriors girls?
Freaking awesome, mate.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was there for that.
Man, I watched the Honey Hedemare's haka. There was a haka they done it in the changing rooms.
Interchange rooms last weekend,
yeah, because it was her last game, I think. She's been retired for retirement. That one.
Yeah, I know. She was very emotional when they did that haka for her too, bro.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. When it's time, it is emotional, because you've bled so many times in the jersey, and it come to an end, So yeah.
Oh, sorry, mate. You were talking about like honouring past legends and everything. Well, in 2009, yourself and Stacey Jones were honoured and inducted into the NRL Hall of Fame. So this must have been a tremendous honour, and even more special to be there with Stacey.
Oh yeah, bro. It was like, man, there was a massive list, and I said, man, who are these like freaking players in there? I'm glad Mark Graham got in there, because he's the man. And then we saw our names in there. So, oh, geez, what's the chances, Stacey? Pretty slim. you know, I mean, Stacey and I are like, you know, we take it as it comes, but like we're pretty honoured, you know, to be in that caliber of players, you know. So when we went over there, and I saw my ex-teammates there, you know, it was like, I'm like in the Hall of Fame with Mel Meninga, Laurie Daly, Brady Clyde, all these guys I grew up with playing, and the other legends, you know, friggin' hell, I was like, yeah, to pinch yourself, right? So just
Does the jacket still fit?
What's that, bro?
Does the jacket still fit you? Because I remember on the night you thought it was a bit tight. You thought they'd given you Stacey's jacket.
Yeah, I thought it was Stacey's jacket.
That's right.
But yeah, the jacket's there. The jacket fits, bro, and yeah, it doesn't even come out. It just stays in the suit jacket with the ring is like nuts.
I worked out why it didn't fit you that well, because you were doing push-ups on the red carpet before you went in there, bro, and you had that pump. I
thought so, yeah. I remember that. I remember doing those burpees, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just overwhelming to be in the presence of greatness, and like for a Scorpion and a freaking point shift pirate to get acknowledged at the highest honor like that is because we weren't supposed to speak. I thought it was just a Q&A. So my speech was just off the cuff.
All right.
Okay.
I just made it up. And then Stacey, you got to speak.
Put you on the spot there.
Man. See, I thought it was a Q&A. He was like, no Q&A. Because Ray Warren came out. He had like freaking 4 sheets. For a speech. He had like 4 pieces of paper. We're nothing.
Stitch up. Absolute stitch up.
Stitch up, bro. Hey, the freaking Aussies doing it again, brother, Rob.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Make sure to get one over us, mate.
Mate, post-footy, you're involved with the Warriors in post-retirement as a strength and conditioning coach and running water on game days. Are you still involved with the team and employed at the club in any capacity?
No, my contract just ran out with the Warriors, bro. So I'm just looking for employment at the moment. Because there's a lot of changes at the Warriors at the moment due to the COVID stuff and being based in Australia a lot. So they're just kind of focusing on what is actually needed at the club. So I'm looking at other avenues at the moment, man. So I got a meeting with New Zealand Rugby League next week. So
nice.
Just trying to get the old boy involved there and trying to focus on the gym with my wife here. I've gone back to school as well, so just got kind of bored, so I went back to school. just doing a diploma in sports and rec.
Oh, nice. Which will help with the gym stuff.
Yeah, well, I've got papers with S&C and stuff, but you just got to keep learning. So I don't think my daughter likes it because I'm in the same class as her.
Well, it's no secret you're heavily involved in fitness. And so in 2018, you competed in a bodybuilding tournament.
Oh, yeah, bro.
With second place, the novice physique category. So tell us a bit about that.
So that was like a bucket list, Rob. I said, oh, yep, when I hit 45, I'll do a freaking bodybuilding comp. And oh, shit, I'm 45. So I just called on a couple of mates to help me out with the nutrition and the weights. And I only did 6 months prep. You usually do like 12. So I was at 10% already body fat, and they got me down to 3.4, which is pretty
shredded,
like sickling. I looked like anorexic, freaking death warmed up, you know. But that's what they do. So it was tough, but I managed to tick the box and got some feedback after it. If I did another 6 months, I would have had bigger traps. I was just real lean. I was like the leanest one up there, you know. So these guys had freaking traps, shoulders, chest, you know. So I just went on raw, natural, burpee body. But it was
I guarantee
fun.
They would have been up on stage going, fucking hell, it's Ruben Wiki.
Yeah. They go, and then these guys, we're all having to pose down, friggin' long pose down for ages, and they couldn't like separate us. And these guys are fainting, and I'm like, hey, I'm just getting started, boys.
Yeah.
So it was different to what I'm used to, like team environment. But yeah, I wouldn't see it as a career.
You can say that you've done it.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bucket list. Yeah, tick off.
Yeah, tick that off. Tick the marathon.
Yeah.
Tick the marathon. Yeah, tick all that stuff. So
your and your latest endeavour is the gym, WikiWorks. Where's that located? Tell everyone a little bit about that.
So WikiWorks Fitness, bro, is located in the heart of Otara. So where I grew up, it's where I used to venture when I was a kid. Used to go past this building all the time. Used to be a sewing building, a boxing gym, CrossFit gym, and it's on my way to the pool. So we cut through the creek, past this building, to the pools. But it's the previous owners were CrossFitters, and they offered the gym to us because they did 5 years and they wanted to do something else. So it kind of fell in our lap. We took a gamble, and my wife's she's business orientated. She's always thinking of ways to improve this gym and concepts that we can bring to Otara. So we've just finished the active youth program for kids, which was a 12-week program for our kids in Otara. I've got the adult programs, so we're looking to extend our concepts here at the gym, and we've got a good niche of members, about 130, and some of them are like people I went to school with, so it's like rekindling those relationships. So funny, man. Just kicked off where we started from, just like we left off our crack up as. And our gym caters for our average age is around 40 at our gym. So we're an OG gym. So husband, wives, all shapes and sizes, but real community, all about the community. All community.
That was probably one of the best things I found when I met you was how you obviously had this wonderful career in rugby league and great footballer and whatever, but just how down to earth you are and how very approachable you are. I could say like a man of the people, so to speak. You don't let any of that success that you've had kind of go to your head. You're still really, really down to earth, and connecting with your old friends from school. That's something that's really, really great. And the people that go to the gym would probably be appreciative of the person that you are.
Yeah, it's pretty intimidating at first, bro, because when they find out it's Ruben Wiki's gym, because they think I'm still in that mode of, But when they come in, it's totally opposite. It's all about the people. It's like that's going on the field is just all for show, and across the line it's game time. But off the field it's sticking to the values that I was brought up with. From my mum. So I didn't have a dad, so mum's the word, and if I get out of line, that head will get a slap. No matter how old I am. And my mum's is inspiring at the moment. She's doing freaking half marathons, and she's like 66, so she's my inspiration.
Wow.
Well, I've got a lot of inspirational ladies in my life, bro. There's like, and my wife, my daughter, my mum. So I didn't have a father figure growing up, so I just credit to the woman that had raised me, and that's why I am where I am. So I don't mind. That's fine. That was my job, to play footy, and I loved it. It doesn't mean you have to change.
No.
Yeah. Why should you? Just because you're at the top of your game and stuff. You got time.
Some do, bro.
You got to make time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll change the pace a little bit. We'll ask you some quick fire questions that we ask all of the guests that we get on here. So firstly, who was your toughest teammate?
Toughest teammate, Kunampongia. Took my head off every time. I learned how to swing. Or I learned how to duck too, just quietly.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Who was the best sledger?
Best sledger. Ricky Stewart.
I can believe that. I can
Sticky.
definitely believe
Mate, he'll if you give a bad pass to Ricky, he'll tell you before he even catches the ball, mate.
Oh, he's always speaking as well, isn't he?
Oh, mate, he hasn't changed, but mate, I love the dude.
All right. Who was the biggest pest?
Pest?
Pest, yeah.
Ah, freaking hell. Who didn't I like? I don't know, man. That was a hard one.
No one got on your nerves. No practical jokers in the
Oh
team.
yeah, someone got on my nerve. It just I don't know what it was. Joel Clinton.
Joel Clinton.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. He just got on my nerves with that. I don't know the way he runs and struts around. I don't know. I said I had to bring
Joel
him
Clinton,
down.
eh?
I got about
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really have much to do with him, but he's just looked real up himself. I don't know. But I got 3 weeks suspension for that.
Yeah. We don't like him either, bro.
Yeah, no, we're not big friends.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just a weird customer.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. So who was the worst or the laziest trainer?
Worst or laziest trainer? I don't know. Oh, laziest. Well, Odell Manuel didn't like training.
He likes it now, though, doesn't he?
And now he's a freaking strong man.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
he's a massive.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny Nagus didn't like training, but he's a freak on the field.
Oh, he was unreal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good.
The most
That's
elusive
neat.
player I think I've ever seen. The best.
but
in the
I
way.
hated preseason. Hated preseason.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Didn't he come back and play in? Didn't he play in the Nines one year as well? Was it the same year you played?
No, I missed that, but Toots came back as well.
Yeah,
Chase
Jason Croker. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he sure did. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so probably those couples kind of stand out for me.
Okay. Who was your? Yeah. Oh, go on. Sorry.
Saliva Havili at the Warriors.
Okay. Not the greatest trainer.
He doesn't like trading.
Yeah. Okay. Who was your toughest opponent?
Toughest opponent, probably. Oh man, depending on the positions, right?
Yeah.
Still played every position.
Yeah.
So well, probably the tough position when I was playing the centers was Steve Renoff and Paul McGregor. Back row, always good battles with Gordon Tallis. Front row was like Petro and Shane Webke.
Yeah.
So it keeps changing, but I couldn't single one out because I've been in so many
players in that list. Yeah.
Yeah. So they, keep
I'm just going to scroll through the live messages. Who was your hero growing up?
Who was my hero? My mum.
Oh, nice.
Great answer.
So,
biggest influence on your career? Probably the same person.
Solid mum and 3 kids in Otara, 2 jobs. Did it tough, and then when I met my wife, she became my hero as well.
Nice. What's your cheat meal? You were talking about cheat meals earlier in the. What was your go-to cheat meal?
It was ice cream.
Ice cream.
Yeah, choc mint.
Choc mint. Okay.
Wow.
Choc mint ice cream, bro.
Before you decided to retire, did you get many offers from other NRL teams in that 2008 season?
The UK, I did. A lot of teams in the UK. Yeah, even like 2 years post, 2 years post retirement.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I don't know if I should ask this question. I don't know if I should ask this, but I'm going to. Did you ever patch things up with Sione Faumuina since the confrontation in the locker room? I don't know what they're talking about.
In the locker room? Is this when at the Warriors?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a question that someone's posted here.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't answer.
Ever considered being a coach? Have you ever considered being a footy coach?
We're all coaches, man, in different pathways, strength conditioning, coach. Doesn't matter if you're a coach, but you're always coaching every day, you know. So, but no.
Can you name the best coach you played under?
Tim Sheens.
Yeah.
And Frank Endicott.
Happy Frank. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Someone's written, Ruben and Hammer have fantastic looking beards. Rob, what's wrong with you?
Sorry, I just got rid of it. Baby face.
November.
That's right.
Someone's written, in regards to the origin, do you think that the Kiwis, Tonga and Samoa should play a tri-series when the origin's on?
Yep. There will be a good Polynesian origin. Yeah, when those guys are playing. I reckon the way they've done it at the end of the season for origin is perfect, because then they get picked for the Australian side. That's how it should be, in that order.
You don't think it's going to interfere with international footy? More so for Australia, because the Kiwis, Tonga, Samoa can all go off in November and play their test matches, but the Aussies are going to be playing origin. Do you think they might miss the boat if they keep it at the end of the year?
Well, with the origin? Well, that's because you pick your best players for origin after the season, right?
Yep.
Not halfway through.
You would think so.
And then you pick your Australian team after that. So that's the one should go in. So, well, that's my thoughts anyway. But seeing a New Zealand, Samoa, Tonga type origin would be pretty cool for the people.
Yeah. Even so, Fiji into that, because Fiji have come a long way in the last.
Yeah, even like I think the Comores too. You know, so just throwing that up and then just keeping the game alive while they're doing their origin. We're doing our own Polynesian one. Don't forget the Māoris too. Right? Look at the New Zealand Māoris, you know.
Yeah. Māoris play the Indigenous over here. That's always a good game.
That's another one that's been thrown in the mix too. The Indigenous.
Yeah.
Big ass Polynesian festival.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking through. People just saying, really loved you as a player. Thank you for great memories with all your games.
Oh, thank you.
As a Tiger supporter, I want to say thank you for what you have achieved on the field. A true warrior. Shane Bonham said maybe you can get Roo Hammer to the function for the Kiwis next year. We can get interviews with some other legends.
Yeah, bro.
That's only if they open the borders, bro.
Oh no, it should be okay. If you got Kiwi blood, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I do, bro. Yeah.
Right, Rob, you got a Kiwi missus or something?
Nah.
I got nothing. Sorry.
Oh, so you might have to come over 2 weeks early, mate.
Yeah, no, I still got my Kiwi passport, bro. I can travel back home.
That's the one, bro. Straight in.
The isolation. Yeah, bro. Just a lot of thanks, mate. And I just want to say, I know it's late over there. It's probably, what is it, nearly 10 o'clock at night now?
Yep. I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Yep. We just want to say thank you so much for coming on, chatting with us. It's been something that, I've wanted to do for a long, long time. As I said last week when I messaged you,
good to talk
we haven't caught up since.
No.
Yeah, the last time we spoke was before the 2017 Nines, which makes us both pretty shit on keeping in contact.
That's right, bro.
But that'll change. We'll keep in contact, bro.
We'll good.
We'd love to have you on again next year once the season gets underway and get your thoughts on how the Warriors are going.
Yeah, all good, brother.
And stuff, and catch up on how the gym's going. Just give my best to your family. Wonderful whānau that you've got back there.
Yeah, all good, mate. All good, mate. Good to see you, bro. Nice to meet you, Rob.
You too, bro.
Yeah. It's been an absolute pleasure. I just want to say thanks again for having you as a Warriors legend on our show. And not that it means anything, but both Hammer and myself have been compiling our greatest Warriors 17, and we both selected you as prop alongside Pricey. So
yeah,
you got to start.
Yes. So
Yeah,
there is.
you've got to start, brother.
Doesn't matter where I am, I've got to start.
We just have to make sure you're not suspended for that one, mate.
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you, bro, you put that 17 together now, bro, I reckon I'll be okay.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks,
boys.
Rubes.
All right,
See you guys.
brother.
Take care, eh?
Talk soon, bro.
Family, boys.
Thank you.
See ya.
thanks a lot. Cheers.
Mate, what a champion.
What a fantastic chat, and some great insight in there, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's just amazing how humble of a man he is. Like with everything that he's achieved, like, you know, he's a Hall of Famer, an NRL Hall of Famer, and with everything he's achieved, just how humble and down to earth the man is. It's just so refreshing.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a great sense of that there, and talking through his career and everything that he had achieved in his career as well, captaining his country and the highest pinnacle of sport. So yeah, what a great guy, and we're really looking forward to having another chat with him next year, hopefully as well.
Yeah, I'm just messaging him, mate, thanking him in Messenger while we're talking.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was one that, you know, I've really been looking forward to. As I said, you know, I've known Rubes for a couple of years now, and always caught up with him at Warriors games when he was over here, and pretty much just met him. I'll tell you where I met him. I was at a Warriors versus Cronulla game back in, it might have been 2013, or he was running the water for the Warriors. The Warriors were warming up, and they were right near the fence. And I just happened to say, "Hey, Rubes, can I get a photo?" And I got a photo with him while he was like over the fence. And then pretty much every game he saw me after that, he kind of remembered who I was, and we got talking. And and then went to Canberra one year to watch the Warriors play, and he invited me back to have some kava with him and Isaiah Soliola, but I couldn't do it. I had family down there with me, and it was probably one of the things I regret not doing, because I might have had a good batch of kava that night. But,
you could have had the real deal, the authentic stuff.
Yeah, mate. But yeah, just a wonderful, wonderful man, so down to earth, so giving of his time, and yeah, really, really appreciated it.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing you might want to talk about Origin. I'm not so keen, but let's do it.
Was there a game on? Was there a game on? What happened?
I don't know. See, I can't remember. I can't even remember. I've sort of already deleted that from the memory bank. But yeah, congratulations to your Blues. Way too strong for the Queenslanders last night. Never recovered from losing Cam Munster in the first couple of minutes. But
and I think that was the main difference.
Yeah.
I really think that was a difference. Because Queensland got out of the gate early with that try to Xavier, and that was a key.
Yeah.
When you looked at it from they scored that try, fantastic acrobats from the man to do the jump, get the ball down, and that. But that exposed our left side of the field, which was what I think that was. Tupou and Whiten were on that side of the field, which was a problem that we had in the first Origin. Whiten and his defensive reads playing in the centre. But then you lost Munster, and I think that was a big loss with Ben Hunt coming on. I still struggle to see how Ben Hunt was even selected in that squad.
He hasn't had the greatest.
Bagging first-grade footballers, but you know, I just don't think. Yeah, they just had nothing. They had no direction. Terry Evans even looked a little bit lost.
Yeah, it's just we were just out of sorts big time. Like the loss of Munster sort of ruffled the feathers a bit too much, and a couple of guys had terrible games. Like Philip Sammy got badly exposed, as we said before. It took forever to clean up some of those kicks. He, Addo
Philip Sammy, the John O'Wright of Queensland origin, mate. He was shocking.
It's sort of looking like that, isn't it? It wasn't a greatest game, and as we said, he's probably going to be replaced next week with either Corey Allen or Heimel Hunt, possibly going into the decider. But all in all, like Queensland were just never really in it. After I think when it got to 18-4 at half time, I was like 12-4 I could have lived with. But when it got to 18-4 and we were just looking directionless, and Yeah, tough night at the office. That's all I can say, really.
Yeah. I did think like Josh Papali was probably one of your best.
Yeah, he's always.
I thought Dynamis Louis had a great Origin debut. I really liked him in that Origin mix.
Lindsay Collins was good.
Yeah.
Had a bit of
I just thought for New South Wales, Cody Walker was outstanding. Nathan Cleary had a great game. Really controlled it well, and they really targeted Coates in that second half. In that first half after he'd scored, where they kept kicking to his wing, and I think Trebojevic cut him in half and injured his ribs, and they didn't let up. They just kept kicking to him. He had a hell of a night out there.
He did.
Capel was good for Queensland again.
Yeah, I just when you mentioned Cleary before, like he really sort of responded to that criticism that he received from Joey Johns and the like, and he had probably his best game in a Blues jersey, I would say. So he was deserving the match in my books. Yeah. Yeah.
So it goes up to Suncorp for Game 3 next week. Are you going to go? Will you go to that?
I won't be able to go, unfortunately, but I'll definitely be watching. Look, we do have a good record of winning deciders at Suncorp. Having said that, the Blues did win. I think they said deciders there in '94 and 2005. So you guys have won the Game 3s in Brisbane before. It's going to be a great atmosphere, even though there's only going to be 40,000. I think it's still going to be. Yeah. I think a classic Suncorp Origin crowd. I've been lucky enough to go a few times, and it's just awesome. Maybe not for you guys, but to be like a Queensland fan at Suncorp is second to none.
I've never been to Suncorp. I went watching Origin at the Old Lang Park, and that was an experience.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't ask me what year it was. I think it was 97. It was when New South Wales wore that jersey that they wore last week.
They did wear that. I was like the old credit card jersey, whatever they used to call it. They brought that. That was even more maligned than the old Bush shirt, wasn't it?
I think the McGuinness brothers were one was in the centres and one was on the wing or something like that. Like it was
one of the greatest Blues players, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. I was up there with it was like a promotional type thing. I can't even remember how we got there, but there was 8 of us that went. And then after the game, we missed the bus back we're staying at the Gold Coast. We missed the bus back to the Gold Coast. So we ended up catching a limo all the way back down to the Gold Coast. And
as you do.
Yeah, that was some funny memories back in those days, bro. But tomorrow night, what are you doing tomorrow night, mate? Doing anything?
Yeah, I've got a couple of things on. I'm going to be heading up to the Sunshine Coast to watch the Women's State of Origin game. So watch some of our girls go around. Yeah, Karina Brown, Tamsin Gray, Shania Power, Brianna Clark. Hopefully be able to catch up with them after the game as well. And really looking forward to that game, getting up there and putting last night's result behind me and get behind the Queenslanders, because all our girls are on the Queensland side, and I believe you've also made the switch. So
I have, mate. I make absolutely no apologies for it whatsoever. I've been copping a bit of shit from my New South Wales mates, but family above all else. These girls have represented our club this year. They came out in our time of need. Karina had played for the Roosters. Tasman had played for the Broncos and the Roosters, I think. And I think it was Broncos and the Roosters. The other 2 girls are obviously Queenslanders, played up there, got their start. So they came to our club in our time of need this year, when we only had the 5 OGs, the Fab 5 coming over from New Zealand, and represented our club, really bought into the culture and the diversity and the whānau that we have at the Warriors. And for me to not show the same kind of support for these 4 women would be just wrong, something I couldn't live with. They'll always have a special spot in my heart as Warriors players, and I would have loved to have been up there to support them. I originally got tickets to go up there, which was going to go with you. But your premier doesn't want us COVIDly infected New South Wales people up in your wonderful state. So
up in God's country.
I'll be watching on TV. I'll be cheering loud. I hope the girls play well. I hope they win. I'll be putting a sneaky 10 on Karina Brown as first try scorer. So it's going to be a great night. I've told the girls to look out for you. I've told them that you'll be the guy on the hill, on the northern hill, wearing a Queensland jersey with a Warriors hat. There shouldn't be too many Warriors hats. And now I've announced that everyone in that crowd is going to wear a Warriors hat.
Every second bloke's going to be wearing a Warriors hat. So everyone will be like, you're that guy from that show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, good luck to those girls. Should be a cracking game. I think kickoff is 6:30 your time, which is 7:30 my time.
Yeah. So what's that? Okay. 7:30 for you guys. Yeah.
Yep.
I just thought we'd also touch on the Marcelo Montoya signing as well for the Warriors. That was announced this week. What are your thoughts on that?
For me personally, I thought it was a weird signing when it was announced. And the reason I say that is they've spoken about Marcelo Montoya being he's a winger / centre. Brownie's talked him up as being a centre. And we let AK go and we let Paddy Herbert go. And then we bought this guy. So I don't know, maybe they got him on budget money. Maybe Herbert was on a little bit too much dollars. Maybe he's a depth signing, because the other one that kind of confused me was, we had George Jennings that was looking for a contract, and they didn't even offer him one.
That might have been something to do with him not wanting to move to New Zealand, I think. I'd heard sort of whispers about that.
Yeah, but
possibly. He won't be.
Yeah.
He'll be in
it's,
anyway.
That's what I mean. Like Hetherington was the same deal. Didn't want to come because he didn't want to live in New Zealand. Well, at least for the first 3 to 6 months of next year, they're not going to be living in New Zealand. Anyway, mate, for me, it's a weird signing, but maybe a depth signing, to cover, Fuss and Ken and Petahiku and Ewan Aitken. I will say that although kind of, not the biggest fan of the signing, he is now signed till the end of 2022. So in my eyes, he's a Warrior. So he gets my full 100. Oh, RTS doesn't like him.
He's nodding. He's giving his nod of approval.
He gets my full support until he does something that doesn't get my full support. A la John O'Wright playing tunnel ball at Cronulla, losing us a game of footy.
Yeah,
how about you?
I'd have to agree with most of that. I mean, considering we let go of some quality players, Herbert, Kieran, and the like, he's going to be in a queue. So he's going to be probably towards the bottom of the queue, behind a lot of guys that like Ken and Fuss and Hiku and Perrin and Pompey and these guys. Junior Ratuba, who knows where he stands in the pecking order as well.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah, so he's got a lot of competition for spots, but you never know. Like, it could just be one of those bad years with injuries and that kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, as you said, he's a Warrior now, so he has 100%. We get behind all our players, and he has our full support. So,
absolutely. Yeah, that was it for the signings, wasn't it? We spoke about Sean O'Sullivan last week. There's still that little rumor about Tom Amone, the Rabbitohs,
Rabbitohs forward,
was let go, and I'm hearing whispers that 3-year deal possibly with us, but I'm getting a bit confused over where we're sitting on our list of players. Because on some of the Warriors chat threads, they're saying we're at 30 now.
Is it possible?
I'm not sure.
Parsi and Parsi's gaining that visa, because I think we were saying before, if Parsi gets his visa and is able to go to the Super League, then that opens up a spot, and possibly that will be for Amone. But then again, if Parsi is unable to get his visa, then what does that mean for him? Does he stay at the club, even though the club has basically said, you're free to leave? So
see you later.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one, isn't it?
I mean, they told Bunty the same thing. You're free to leave. Bunty's dug in his heels and says, I'm not leaving. And, and who knows? Like Nathan Brown being a new coach to the club, he may be a fan of Bunty Afo. He may be a fan of Ignatius Party. You know, he's obviously a fan of Marcelo Montoya.
Yeah, he was raving about him, wasn't he? Big
Yeah,
fan. So,
yeah.
so was Peter O'Sullivan.
Incidentally, was it you that told me that he scored against us in his debut match?
He did. He made his debut against us in Dunedin, of all places, down in the undercover stadium down there, and we lost that night to a pretty ordinary Bulldogs team, and he got a meat pie in the second half. So, yeah, he does. There you go.
Well, yeah. He could end up being a great signing for us, you know. But who knows? Who knows? Too early to tell. Let's see how he goes through his pre-season. I'm assuming he'll be one of the boys that does his pre-season here in Australia.
I guess so. Yeah.
It'd be good to find out if we could find out where Adam Fanua-Blake's doing his pre-season.
Did Jazz?
Whether he's moved to New Zealand or.
Yeah, I think Jazz mentioned.
Oh, actually, Jazz.
He
did. He said
in
Aussie.
Australia.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so he'll probably do it.
Yeah, that's right. He did.
He'll probably doing it somewhere in outside of his area of bad influence, if you know what I mean. But maybe somewhere in greater Sydney or something like that. I was wondering the same thing, but yeah, Jazz kind of confirmed that last week.
Yeah. Yeah. Aside from that, mate, there's no other signings. You didn't get to show Ruben your shirt either.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, well, for those who are watching, I've got some people might have seen this shirt here, commemorating the little general, as it says there, Stacey Jones. So yeah, obviously my favourite warrior of all time, and I saw Sean Johnson actually was wearing this shirt on Instagram. And someone had shared where you can get it on the it's a store called a guy called O'Kalan, or a company called O'Kalan that makes them, and they've only got limited amounts. So I thought I don't want to miss out. Got to get my little General Stacey Jones shirt. So
yep, absolutely. Yeah. I opted for the New Zealand Warriors Pac-Man shirt tonight.
Pac-Man shirt.
Yeah, mate.
We got some more great guests coming up in the next couple of weeks as well. So everyone, make sure you tune in next Thursday, 19th of November. We'll be having a chat to Toddy Payton. I'm really looking forward to that. That is going to be a very interesting chat indeed. So get your questions.
It will be.
Get anything you've ever wanted to ask him about what happened this year, everything that went on in the season. If you don't just send your questions in and we'll ask Todd.
Yeah. The week after that, the 26th of the 11th, we've got Warriors hard man Kevin Campion, the champion, coming on to have a chat with us live. That's one I'm really looking forward to. He only played a couple of seasons at the Warriors, but he's always been fondly remembered by all true Warriors fans.
Much loved, real hard nut, wasn't he? I'm really looking forward to hearing about that, and again through that successful 2001, 2002 seasons that he was involved in, where he was instrumental in bringing so much change to the club.
Yeah, attitude adjustments and so forth. Yeah.
Yep.
The week after, 3rd of the 12th, we've got a guest to be confirmed, so I can't name anyone at this point in time because we haven't confirmed 100%. So we've got that, and then on the 10th of the 12th, we'll do our season review, which will also be our final show for this year. Which will take us to 20 shows, which is pretty ridiculous when you think about where we were 16 weeks ago. Our first I went back and actually watched our first episode the other day, and we just looked like a pair of gibberers just rambling on. We didn't even know the camera was on. We didn't know when to start talking.
And we started and now look where we are. We've got lighting, we've got we've got all this sort of stuff happening now.
And we've got some decent guests that come on, great Warriors players that willing to come on and share their experiences and their story with us. So we'll go the next 4 weeks. Toddy Payton, Kevin Campion, the TBC guest, and then our season review.
Yep.
And we'll wrap up. We'll wrap up for Christmas. Have a couple of weeks off, and get back into it in early to mid-January, where we can roll into our next lot of guests into next year before the season starts.
Sounds like a plan, mate.
I was going to say. Sounds good, champ.
Sounds good, champ. Sweet as, mate.
Oh, mate, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight.
Really appreciate
and
it.
watching it. Yeah, massive shout out to Ruben for coming on and staying on so late. You know, after 10 o'clock at night when he jumped off. Really appreciate, you know, the honesty and the depth he answered those questions.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah, learned a few things. Learned some things. We're learning things that we're not really aware of. It's stuff that you don't hear in the media, or stories that you hear in the media, or whatever, that are wrong.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've learned some interesting ones. You know, from Ruben, from Mark Tukey, especially the Wairangi Kopu.
Yeah, exactly. What a revelation.
Injury to Brad Filler, where we all thought it was Villa Sandy.
Yeah,
So, yeah. Anyway, mate, you have a wonderful night tomorrow night.
I really do. I'll pass on my regards. Yep.
Do me a favour when you get the girls over to the fence for a chat. Not Facebook. FaceTime me.
Yep.
So I can say a quick hello to them.
We'll definitely do that.
And congratulate them on a great win. I'll make sure I have my New South Wales shirt on when I do it. Yeah, enjoy the game. Tell your dad to enjoy the game.
Will do.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks for your questions. Really appreciate the support and the interaction that you guys are showing us.
Great important interaction. Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah. You have a good night tomorrow night, bro. I'll speak to you after the game.
You too, mate. You take it easy. See you later.